Whoa! Fuck yes! $15 years. It has now been 15 years that this game came out, and 15 years that I've been playing it. And I'm not even going to try to add fluff or anything to sound super smart or anything. This is my absolute overall favorite video game of all time. I played it every day in my childhood, crossing over into my teen years. I played yearly along with the other two games in the trilogy as a sort of religion, you could say. And to think the only reason I got this game was some sort of consolation prize for myself when I couldn't find a Hot Wheels game, which was mediocre at best. This was my first step into the Sly Cooper franchise. I played the first level and the hazard room. I thought those were cool, and I got to the first real job of the whole game and got stuck because my adolescent mind couldn't really figure out how to crack open a safe, so I always got my dad to do it. But enough gushing about my past. Why do I truly love this game? And I'll ask this question as well. Why do I favor Sly 3 over Sly 2? I bring this up and say it that way because I've seen over the recent years that there seems to be a bit of a divide or debate on which is better overall. Hell, some people even say that Sly 3 is their least favorite in the trilogy. That's pretty bold to say, as much as me saying I believe that Sly 3 is better than Sly 2. But I'll deal with the complete comparison later. Now, it is time to get into the review of Sly 3: Honor Among Thieves.
Getting inside the place would take precision, creativity, and moreover, it would take an army of world-class thieves. Finding and bringing together that much talent won't be easy, but to get inside the Cooper vault and collect my inheritance, I was willing to pay the price.
We'll kick things off with what sets the groundwork for the Sly Cooper series, the story. What is it this time? Let me guess, Clockwork has come back for a third time and he's nope. In fact, Clockwork is pretty much entirely gone from this game. There's really only one or two times he's mentioned and that's that. So what is it about then? Well, with the Cooper clan being world-renowned thieves from all over the globe, from generations to generation, they've clearly amassed quite the collection. And you gotta put all that loot and treasure somewhere safe. Say hello to the Cooper Vault, the main objective and what Sly is aiming for this time around. You'd think it would be easy because the vault is under his family name, but apparently another man, Dr. M, has claimed the island for himself and also wants what's inside the vault. Dr. M just has all this security up the wazoo, so getting through and inside the vault is going to take more than just Sly, Bentley, and Murray. They're going to need some help, which is where the core aspect of the story comes into play, being that the Cooper gang wants to add more members to have a better success to get inside the vault. Of course, only nobodies and other criminals would join them for this adventure, so it's going to be one hell of a ride to create a larger team. And that's pretty much how the story goes this time around. It's really not as dark or insane as the second game, or even the first, I could say, but I still enjoy the story overall. Each new member of the gang is a delight to see. Things start off a little bit different because the first member to get is Murray. Yeah, from the reason being that he blames himself for Bentley ending up in the wheelchair. Don't forget that Bentley just wasn't healed from the second game and he was A-okay. No, he's in that chair for the rest of the series. Murray blames himself, but Bentley tells him the core theme of this game. He flat out tells him, get over it, which is the main centerpiece on what the game's theme overall message is. Each new member of the gang has a past problem they must face to better themselves to join Sly and friends. The guru must come to terms with Murray moving on from his teaching. Penelope has to drop this old persona she made for herself. And then of all characters, the Panda King. Yes, the Panda King. You know, one of the few people who had the fiery hand in killing Sly's parents. Yeah, he even joins the team. After he lost to Sly, he has been trying to better himself already as a monk, but the destructive, violent character is still inside of him, and he has to find a balance between the two to better himself. If not, Sly may not be able to return the favor beforehand and returning his daughter from being married to some sort of asshole. And then the final member is that of the best character, Dimitri. He doesn't need to do anything, he's just great on his own. Gold star for him. But in all seriousness, it's for him to come to terms with his own heritage. The theme of the game also goes for the villains for each episode. The first one is a great example, Don Octavio, a man who just didn't want to accept the modern times and wanted the public to get with the old times of opera, even if that meant joining a mafia. And Opera Fear is the best first episode of the whole series. Now I'm going to be honest and say that, while I just said that, the villains this time round are just either a hit or miss. There's really no in between. Octavio is great, as I said before, but then in episode 2, it's the, Mask of Dark Earth, and, in episode 3, it's the Black Baron, who's okay at best. But that doesn't really matter because it's just Penelope at the end of the day. Though on the other hand, in episode 4, General Sao is the motherfucker. He is just insanely awful and does his part wonderfully.
Stop this, Sal. Release Gene King and this fight can end.
No! Gene King is mine! Once our bloodlines cross, it shall be glorious! The Panda King in his day was magnificent. With the Tao name, a new generation of kings will be unstoppable.
But she doesn't want to marry you.
She's a woman. She doesn't know up from down. Once I convinced her father to take up meditation, she was ripe for the picking.
I faced a lot of bad men in my time, but you, sir, are the worst.
He doesn't even play any games, and because of that, his whole episode breaks the usual format of all of the other episodes prior. Seriously, one of the best villains in the whole series. Lafouille, though, in episode 5 is also just okay, so we're just going to move on from that, because the main and final antagonist is that of Dr. M. He's the one villain that kinda spits some facts. Earlier in his life, he worked with Sly's dad, Connor Cooper. They were in a gang together with someone else named McSweeney. They were quite the gang, but would split apart for various reasons that happened. His whole philosophy is that after putting his life on the line with Connor multiple times and stealing everything, why doesn't he get any of the treasure from the Cooper vault? From Dr. M's point of view, Connor was a terrible friend, and that's why he's trying to break into the vault to satiate that greed. Not gonna lie, kinda makes sense. Too bad he's going a little bit overboard with his execution by almost executing Sly and friends many times. Dr. M also tries to break apart the original trio with his logic, but they don't deal with that bullshit. I honestly love this game's theme overall. And speaking of theme, before I forget it like last time, Honor Among Thieves has some of my favorite tracks in the entire series. Every song, every track from Venice is superb. The regular song that you hear as you're sneaking about or when you get caught and you're now in a fight, it's awesome. And even the other tracks are great as well. With that in mind, it's actually about time that I start talking about the gameplay itself finally. Well, the reason I didn't get into it immediately is because it's not as vastly different from Band of Thieves. It's the same structure as sitting in the safe house, and when you're ready, go do those set of jobs, which is all just a big preparation to do the operation, and then that's the episode. Sly can do everything he could do in Band of Thieves. The same goes for Bentley, who unironically became more mobile when he got into the wheelchair. You love to see it. And Murray is just as powerful as ever. A great addition to them now is that they can both pickpocket. It's not just Sly who can do it. It's so much better in the gameplay wise. From that, you would think with all the other characters added, it would be a clustered mess and many different gameplay styles thrown in your face constantly, which is just a downgrade, you would think. Not really. Most of the new gang members don't play extremely differently than the main trio. The Guru's gameplay is still that of jump and press the circle button. Penelope now takes on the RC missions that Bentley would do, and the best way to describe the Panda King is that he's like a long-range Murray. Lots of destruction, and this time it's bright and colorful with fireworks. Dimitri is really the only one that's entirely different with his underwater gameplay, which really hasn't been done before in this style. But I honestly don't groan or get the feeling I don't want to play when I have to play him. Mostly because he only has 2 levels, not sure if that's a good or bad thing, but those levels are in the last stretch of the game, and they go by pretty quick if you know what you're doing, so not the biggest deal. And the biggest surprise is being able to play as Carmelita, and she's quite fun. And that's all I can really say about her. She's just fun, can shoot everything and kick everything, and jumps to extreme heights. Amazing. Overall, I would say the gameplay itself is improved upon from Band of Thieves, even with adding new characters to the mix. And I know the biggest disconnect that many have is pretty much all the things that I just talked about. The story doesn't feel like you're a thief anymore. The group is just doing adventures rather than stealing. We didn't need the new members because the story and gameplay before was fine with just the original 3. Yes, all true, but I'm gonna be blatantly honest. I would still prefer playing the 3rd game most and the longest. Let me put it like this. If I were to marathon each game from start to finish without putting the controller down or turning off the system, I would play Honor Among Thieves more. Why? Because in Thievius Raccoonus there are a handful of moments that make me sigh or roll my eyes or not wanting me to play from some stupid minigame that I don't enjoy, honestly. And I sometimes get that feeling with Band of Thieves. Not as often, of course, but I'm not exactly 100% on board with a bit of the level design with the hub worlds in terms of exploring and collecting as well. From Honor Among Thieves, I genuinely cannot think of a moment or part in the game where I would stop, and that's still taking into account all the numerous new styles. And from that mindset, Honor Among Thieves spices it up, and I don't mind that. Sly 2, for most of the game, it's take pictures, steal keys, bomb this, break that, and repeat for majority of the game. It may shake things up here and there, say with like episode 4 sometimes, but it is pretty much just that. Now there's nothing wrong with that idea, but it could definitely get boring for some. How about this within the 3rd game? How about abandoning that approach, play as all members of the Cooper gang in one mission where you use all of their unique skills and abilities to get up to a higher platform to talk to the Panda King, where you have a one-on-one showdown reminiscent of the 1st game. No pictures, no keys, no bombs, just game. And adding new characters to it without it being just entirely stupid or unnecessary. This is how you do it in terms of adding new things, and I love it. The game isn't afraid to do that. And before you even ask, no, I don't mind the pirate episode. I quite like it, because within that, it at least gives rich character interactions and development from the episode overall. And from those characters, they're amazing. The Guru is a nice start to the expansion, Penelope is a fun little nerd from her moments with the gang, and adding former enemies of the Panda King and the best character, Dimitri, is amazing. Along with Carmelita always saving the day in a weird roundabout way, the final boss, it's a straight 1v1 with Dr. M, and not some great valued version of the first to the second, and the ending is perfect in ending the trilogy overall, and with all of that in mind, that's why Sly 3 Honor Among Thieves is my favorite game of all time. It's just perfect.
So while this might be the end of our adventures together, it could be the start of something even bigger. Time will tell. Literally. 'Cause I'm building a time machine to find out.
The story, the gameplay, the characters. I love all of it. It is just fun. So much so that I'm not even reading the script anymore. This is all just Ablet at the moment. And I can pretty much end the video here. I know the video and review is a little bit shorter compared to the first and even second game, because again, there really isn't that much to say in terms of gameplay from the second to third. It really is just the same, but just adding new things to it. And I kind of like those new things. I don't hate them. Oh yeah, not only that, you get to replay missions whenever you want. That just automatically makes it better than the second, just saying that now. So yeah, that is pretty much everything that I could say about the third game, because by this point I would just be going on and rambling non-stop, just gushing about this and that. I mean, I could say that the best mission overall is Lemon Rage. That is a fucking fun mission. You drink lemonade like it's a bar, and then you just beat the shit out of enemies in this absolute brawl. Not just as Murray, because, you know, he's known for cracking skulls. No, you play as Sly, Bentley, and Murray, and then there's a boss in it. It just adds so much to it. God damn, how can people say the second is better? I don't understand. Okay, I'm done, because I'm also running out of breath, and this is like my third time trying to record this. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. You know what to do with all the links that I provide and everything of the sort. Stay safe out there. Thank you for watching. That's greatly appreciated, of course. Have a great day, have a great night, and everything else you know what to do. Bye.
That sneaky devil.